Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start a series of questions which will be based on signals and systems. And the first topic which I'm taking will be the power and energy of the signals. I'm going to explain it with the help of questions, and then we will keep on solving the questions which are on continuous time domain and discrete time domain. As we know, we have only two types of signals in general, like continuous time domain signal, which are continuous in time, and discrete time signals. So let's take the first example, which is given here as xt equals to e raised to the power minus 2t into ut. The first thing which you need to understand with respect to this signal is it's a multiplication of two signals. One is exponentially decaying signal with time, and another one is unit step function. So when they multiply with each other, one of them will, or both of them will decide the amplitude and the common range where they will be defined. So for finding the energy of any signal, we will use this formula in continuous time domain, which is from minus infinite to infinite mod of xt square into dt. Here we have ut, which is defined for t greater than equals to 0, and the amplitude of the unit step function is always equals to 1, and for remaining range, means from minus infinite to a point before 0, the value is 0. So the question reduces now to 0 to infinite e raised to the power minus 4t into dt. Integrating it with respect to t, we will get e raised to the power minus 4t divided by minus 4, and the limits of integration will be from 0 to infinite. So it will be minus 1 by 4 e raised to the power minus infinite after putting the upper limit, and then minus e raised to the power 0 after putting the lower limit here. So it will be 1 upon 4. It's an energy signal with energy equals to 1 by 4. If a signal have a finite energy, then that signal is an energy signal. And if the signal doesn't have a finite energy, or you can say the energy turns out to be infinite, then the signal will be tested for a power signal. There is a possibility that signal is not an energy signal or a power signal, but you will not find a signal which is both energy and power together. Now B, we have another question which is given as xt equals to e raised to the power j 2t plus pi by 4. This is an exponential complex signal, and to find the energy of the signal, again we will use the formula from minus infinite to infinite mod of xt square dt. If you see this signal, what's the amplitude of an exponential complex number? It will be mod of xt will be equals to 1, as e raised to the power j theta is equals to 1. If you want to go and understand how it actually worked out, you can write e raised to the power j theta equals to cos theta plus j sin theta, and when you will take the mod of this number, it will be equals to under root of cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is equals to 1. That's why the answer here is 1. Now when we will use this amplitude to find the energy of the signal, it will be from minus infinite to infinite 1 dt. If we will find the finite definite integration of this one, then it will be infinite. So therefore we can say this is not an energy signal. Now we will move to the next step. We will try to find out whether this signal is an energy signal, or if it's not an energy signal, then it will be a power signal. So power will be calculated using this formula, limit t tends to infinite 1 upon 2t minus t to t and mod of xt square dt. So what's the mod of xt square? Again we will use the same amplitude. We are not going to find it again. So it will be limit t tends to infinite 1 upon 2t minus infinite to infinite 1 dt. If you will take the integration of this, it will be t, small t here, and the limits will be minus t to t. When you will put the limits, it will be upper limit will be t minus of the lower limit minus t. So the answer will be 2t here. So you can say 2t divided by 2 based on the same topic, power and energy. So it's xt, the question is xt equals to cos of t. So again we are using the same formula, energy equals to minus infinite to infinite mod of xt square dt. So what will be the xt square here? It will be cos square t, which can be written as 1 plus cos 2t divided by 2 using trigonometric identities. When we will take the integration of this, it will be t by 2 plus sine 2t by 4. When you will put the limits minus infinite to infinite, you will get the answer equals to infinite due to this first part. Okay, so the answer will be that this is not an energy signal. Now we will check whether this signal is a power signal or not. So we'll use the formula for power. Again the amplitude will remain, xt square will remain 1 plus cos 2t by 2. We can use it directly from here because this part will remain same. So we have the difference of minus t to t in the limits, and the remaining things, if you can see, it's same. So it's 1 plus cos 2t, so it will be t by 2 plus sine 2t by 4 from minus infinite to infinite. When you will put the upper limit, so it will be t minus of minus t for the first part, and then it will be sine 2t minus sine of minus 2t divided by 4. So when you will cancel out the things which are getting cancelling out, it will be 2t by 2, so it will be t, and it will be 2 sine 2t divided by 4, and then it will be 1 by 2 plus sine 2t by 2t. So this will be, answer will be 1 by 2. The reason behind this is that when you will put the limit t tends to infinite, the answer of this part will become 0 using exponential series of sine 2t. Now the next part is, the question is based on discrete time signal, and you have to find the energy of the signal. Xn equals to e raised to the power j pi by 2 n plus pi by 2. Now whether the signal is a continuous time domain signal or a discrete time domain signal. If the signal is complex exponential signal, then the magnitude of that signal will always be equals to 1. So that basically reduces our problem to this point, that e raised to the power j theta equals to 1. Now to find the energy of a discrete time signal, we have to use the formula. It's from minus infinite to infinite n and mod of xn square. So it is 1 square equals to, answer will be infinite because we are adding 1 infinite number of times. So therefore this signal is not an energy signal. Now in order to find the power, P is equals to 2n plus 1 summation n equals to minus n to n and mod of xn square. Here I want to bring a bit of attention for you for this point, that here we are using 2n plus 1 and here we are using 2t, and the reason behind it is, if you see the limits, it's from minus n to n. So we are taking the integer points here, and when you start, let's say from minus 4 to 4, so you have points minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So total number of points are 9. So it's from minus 4 to 4 means there's an including 0. So there's an extra point, and when we find power, it's basically the average of energy. So you have to divide by total number of integers here. The total number of integers here are 2n plus 1, n plus n plus 1 due to the 0 which is coming between them. So it will be xn square again is 1. So we are adding 1 how many times? From minus n to n. So the number of terms are 2n plus 1. So this will cancel with each other and the answer will be 1, as number of terms are 2n plus 1. Second question based on discrete time signal is xn equals to 1 upon 2 raised to the power n un. So energy, again we are using the same formula, E equals to minus infinite to infinite xn square un is equals to 1 when n greater than equals to 0 and 0 else. E equals to, due to this n is greater than equals to 0, means from 0 to infinite the amplitude is always equals to 1. So the limits of this summation will change from 0 to infinite. So un is basically deciding the limits. You can see it in the previous question also that ut or un is always defining the limits of the integration or summation. The amplitude of un or ut is always 1. So whatever the amplitude of another signal is, that will be the total amplitude of the signal. So it's from 0 to infinite, 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. You can see it's an increasing Gp. When you will put n equals to 0, it will be 1. When you will put n equals to 1, it will be 1 by 2. When you will put n equals to 2, it will be 1 by 4, 1 by 8, and so on. So it's an infinite Gp. So sum of an infinite Gp is equals to A divided by 1 minus R. A is the first term of the series, and R is the common ratio, means the second term divided by first term or third term divided by second term, and so on. So here, what's the first term? After putting the value of n equals to 0, the first term will be 1. So it's 1. And what's the common ratio? We'll put the second term n equals to 1. So it will be 1 by 2. And what's the first term? 1. So it's 1 by 2 divided by 1. So R is 1 by 2. So the answer here is 1 minus 1 by 2. So it will be equals to 1 divided by 1 by 2, and it is equals to 2. So it's an energy signal with energy equals to 2. So we need not to find the energy of power here. Another question, xn equals to cos pi by 4 n. For an energy signal, E equals to, again we are using the same formula, from minus infinite to infinite, mode of xn square. So it will be cos square pi by 4 n. When you will put the value of n here, the answer will be infinite. So we can say that this is not an energy signal. For power, we have to use the formula P equals to limit n tends to infinite 1 upon 2n plus 1 summation n equals to minus n to n mode of xn square. So again we have cos square pi by 4 n, which can be written as 1 plus cos twice pi by 4 into n. So 2 will cancel, 4 to 2. So it will be 1 plus cos 2 theta divided by 2 using the trigonometric identities. So we can write limit n tends to infinite 1 upon 2n plus 1 summation n equals to minus n, separating these two terms, 1 by 2 plus 1 upon 2, which is coming due to this for this part, and minus n to n cos pi by 2n. So when you will try to solve this part, solving this part is very easy, that we can take this 1 by 2 outside. So we are adding 1 how many times? 2n plus 1 times, which we did in the previous question. So the only problem left with us is to solve minus n to n pi by 2n. Now I solved this part here. How I did this is, you can see that I denoted it by A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So what I am doing in A is, when I'll put the value of n equals to 0 here, when n equals to 0, it will be cos pi by 2 0. So it will be cos 0 into pi by 2 equals to cos 0 equals to 1. When you will put n equals to 1, so it will be cos pi by 2, which will be equals to 0. When you will put n equals to 2, it will be cos 2 pi by 2 pi divided by 2, cos pi equals to minus 1. When you will do n equals to 3, cos 3 pi by 2 equals to 0. N equals to 4, cos 4 pi by 2 equals to cos 2 pi equals to 1. N equals to 5, cos 5 by 2 equals to 0. And if you see, it will be minus 1, 0, 1, So they'll keep on cancelling each other. The only thing which I'm not explained is the negative terms. So for those negative terms I am using it twice here. Why I am using it twice here? Because cos of minus theta equals to cos theta. So whether we use cos n pi by 2 or cos minus n pi by 2, answer will remain same. So due to this, the answer of this part will turn out to be 0, and so the total answer will be coming out from this part, which is equals to 1 by 2. So this is a power signal with power equals to 1. Consider one more question on the same topic, how to find the energy of the signal. Suppose the question is xt equals to delta t plus 2 minus delta t minus 2. If you see, this question is based on an impulse function. I hope that all of you know what is an impulse function, and if you don't know, then I'm going to do some slides which will be based on different types of functions and signals which we will be using in this course. So it will be delta t plus 2. If we are using this function or the signal, it will be defined at whatever you have inside the bracket, put it equals to 0. So this signal or the function will be defined at t plus 2 equals to 0, or you can say it is defined at t equals to minus 2, and this will be defined in a similar way at t equals to 2. So we have to calculate the energy of the signal yt, which is equals to minus infinite to infinite integration x of tau into d tau. So when you are putting this, you have to change the variable in this xt to x tau. So the question changes now to this form. So if you see, we have only two numbers given in this question. One is minus 2 and another one will be 2. So this part will be defined at tau equals to minus 2, and this will be defined at tau equals to 2. So we have two numbers, so we can have only three possible ranges of t, which is t less than minus 2, and from minus 2 to t2, and t greater than 2. You can see this function, these two functions are defined at tau equals to minus 2 and 2. So the value for this range of this yt will be equals to 0, and for this range also it will be equals to 0. The reason is that delta tau plus 2 impulse function, tau plus 2 exists at tau equals to minus 2, impulse tau minus 2 is exists at tau equals to 2. So therefore from minus 2 to 0 we have only one value, which is due to this part, which is equals to 1. Also from 0 to 2 we have value equals to 1. So the complete answer for this question will be that the function will be 0 for t less than minus 2, it will be having a value equals to 1 for minus 2 to 2, and t greater than 0, it will be equals to 0. Thanks for listening my video, which is not basically that you can see me, it's on the background that you can hear my audio, and I will keep on coming back with more questions based on signals and systems, or you can say the signal processing. And if you have any questions or any feedback you want to give, please give it in the comment box, and I will answer them as soon as I receive them. Thank you, thanks again, and have a nice day.